Hi, I'm Chuck Lofton. I hope you're having a really nice Friday here in central Indiana. We are going to have overall a really nice day ahead, but we've got some changes on the way. Of course, St. Patrick's Day parade today in Indianapolis. We have the Big Ten tournament that continues its run at Gainbridge Fieldhouse and Indiana Comic Con. And overall, the weather is going to be fantastic. However, we have an upcoming storm, and we're going to spend some time on this because I know many of you are concerned. We haven't had a lot of severe weather this year. After all, we're just in the middle of March, but the storm is going to arrive late tonight, and in play, some strong wind, hail, possible tornadoes, especially in extreme western Indiana into Illinois, where I'm going to show you some forecasters are calling for the possibility of some long track tornadic activity. Now, here's our setup, and the reason it's already warming up, it just feels so good out there this morning. These two areas of low pressure and a front. There will be record high temperatures today from northern Missouri into Iowa, into Minnesota, and the best chance for departures from normal due to this southerly flow ahead of this front right here in Indianapolis. In fact, I'll do the math real quick for you. 79 is going to be our high today. 51 is our average high. That is a 28-degree jump. That's amazing. And it's due in large part to the winds right out of the south today. And look at these potential gusts. For instance, 6 p.m. tonight, we will be under a wind advisory at that point. And the winds are going to gust, we believe, from 30 to maybe even 45 miles per hour. In fact, at 2 o'clock in the morning when these storms are going to really rattle through here, look at these wind gusts in Terre Haute. We're projecting out about 48 miles per hour. That is in and of itself amazing. Throughout the day today with the parade this morning and then all the activities this afternoon, 79 degrees for a high. And that goes for all of the folks headed downtown for the Big Ten tournament at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, 77, 3 p.m., 79 for a high. But as you know, it's not supposed to be this warm this year. And even though a lot of the fans going to Kalamazoo, it's a Chuck night, see Kalamazoo play the Fuel in Indianapolis, Faith and Family Night. When you go into that Fisher's Event Center tonight, it's going to be 77 degrees, and when you leave, 70. Now, the good news, at 10 o'clock, it won't be raining, but not long after that, we're going to see this storm start to push through here. Now, let's talk first of all tornadoes, because anytime that you address severe weather in the state of Indiana, you have to address the possibility of tornadoes. Right now, according to the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, the significant tornado risk area is right in here, Illinois. So we're talking Charleston, Paris, Effingham, Illinois, Carbondale over towards St. Louis. And then that would go through a sliver of Indiana, including perhaps Vincennes, down to Evansville. But this is worth watching because the Storm Prediction Center also has these guides for us that kind of give us an idea from a level of 1 to 5 what the weather is going to be like, or the severe index would be like. So in Indianapolis, we're talking about level 2 of 5. We would call that a slight risk for severe weather. However, Greencastle, Avon, Lafayette, over to Brazil, that would be a level 3. That would be an elevated level. And then you have a much higher risk from right along the Illinois border on into places, as I mentioned, like Effingham. So this is Saturday. We've got another round of strong weather that will move up primarily through the eastern part of the state, but also would include places like Shelbyville and Greensburg, Columbus and Seymour. And you'll see when I show you the future track just how this is going to look. I mean, this is really round 2. So I think that out of these storms, both tonight and then tomorrow, you're talking about the potential of maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain. Now, this is one model, and I've got to tell you, I'm being honest with you, these models are all over the place as far as rain amounts, which leads me to believe that a lot of what we're going to be seeing would be overnight in these locally heavy downpours where somebody gets maybe an inch in an hour and then everybody else about a half an inch. Now, notice these projections for flash flooding. This would be Cincinnati, Louisville, Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee. We're talking about many computer models that show between there, Franklin, and Columbia, if you're familiar with that part of central Tennessee, 5 to 7 inches of rain out of this storm on 2 separate occasions. So it's certainly going to be worth watching. Now, Saturday afternoon, remember I talked about the storm. Well, I'm going to show you hour by hour in just a few minutes how this bad boy is coming through here. But remember I said that we've got another situation on Saturday. Here's that other situation. Now, we're going to be north of this major storm. Indianapolis would be under a marginal risk for severe weather, and then along the Ohio River up to as far north as Shelbyville, you guys were under a slight risk. But I think this is going to be a really bad spot on Saturday afternoon. So this would be Tupelo, Mississippi, over towards Birmingham, Alabama, and then west of Atlanta. So much of central Alabama, south of Huntsville, would be under what I would consider a high chance for dangerous weather. And by dangerous weather, we're talking about multiple tornadoes. Again, this is Saturday afternoon. So we're going to be north of that trouble. We're still going to get wet, but this is where the bullseye will be. And why I show you this is because Birmingham is a big destination for people on spring break going I-65. You go through Louisville, you go through Nashville, you go through Huntsville, and then right through Birmingham. And Saturday afternoon, that's where this trouble is going to be. I really do not like the looks of that. But we also want to let you know that this is going to be out, and in back of it's going to be much cooler air. So this is a look at this afternoon as I put future track in motion for you. We're going to see plenty of sunshine. In fact, 79 today, this wonderful high, but the atmosphere starts to get a little juicy. I think one of the things you're going to notice for those of you who are weather nerds like me is that you will notice the dew points going up. And remember, dew points plus heat plus March equals the possibility of severe weather. And let me show you how this is going to play out. So Angela is going to be on with you tonight at 11 p.m. I do not think at that point we're going to have any bad weather in the metro area. However, just after that time, here we go. This is 12:30. Notice two things here. One is the light rain that's going to move ahead of it, but with 40 and 45 mile per hour winds. So this may be light here, Lafayette, Crawfordsville, Terre Haute, but it's going to be blowing sideways as this storm rumbles through. Now let's take you to 2 o'clock in the morning, and this is a very defined line, and it actually may be two defined lines. I've seen this before where you have one that's coming out in front. And notice these areas of purple and red and yellow. Those are heavy downpours of rain, and that would be all the way from Munster and Whiting down towards Lafayette and Crawfordsville and Greencastle. Now, it is possible that this starts to thin out a bit and weaken as it moves into Indianapolis. I'm not saying that'll be the case. I think what we're going to have to do is watch these computer models and watch how this storm plays out. But it is possible that it would weaken a little bit as it would come into Indianapolis. However, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm still not liking these lines here that you see. Some defined lines, straight line winds, we could see problems with that. And that's also a situation where I think the brunt of the force of this storm is Illinois. I'm not going to rule out tornadoes in Indiana. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to do that. But I do think seriously that the strength of this storm would be early, mid-evening, St. Louis, Carbondale, Effingham, down towards Cairo, Illinois. And then that line continues. So let's bring the line now to 5:30 in the morning, and this starts to thin out, right? Lindsay is going to be with you tomorrow on Weekend Sunrise beginning at 6 o'clock. When she goes on the air, a lot of this is going to be over. So we'll talk about, was there any damage overnight? Not only in Indiana, but in other states. And she'll be talking about that. But also, we'll be previewing at that time what's coming up later today. And this is what's coming up on Saturday. So this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I do think there might be enough space where we actually see a little bit of sunshine. But then it's all going to fire up again. And when I say fire up, check this out. This is 3:30 in the afternoon with very heavy rain. Could there be lightning and thunder? Yes. Could there be severe weather? Yes. I think, though, that we're talking about primarily Seymour and Columbus all the way down to here. This is an area that really concerns me, I think, with very heavy rain. Maybe just as you go off of State Road 1, you know, if you're headed down towards the Ark Encounter, out of Indiana, then into Kentucky and Ohio, right there. That's the area that could have some real problems tomorrow. This is 7:30. We still have, at that point even, some lingering rain around the area, but still, that's what it looks like. And of course, keep it here throughout the rest of the day. 79 today, 72 tomorrow. Cold, we could see a little snow rain chance just a little early in the morning, and then up we go. For St. Patty's Day, 61, 71 on Tuesday. I'm Chuck Lofton. Again, follow all of our social platforms, our newscasts, as we get closer to the storm later tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.